What's up, everybody? Kyle here. Let's talk wax with Prospect Hot Sheet episode 13, where I break down the top 30 prospects from the past 15 days. Stay tuned. Now, before we get started, if you guys want to check out some of my exclusive content, I do have a Patreon page. There's a ton of stuff over there and an awesome active Discord server. I'll put a link to it in the description. I'm also running some free giveaways on my social media outlets courtesy of Break Grading. Prospectors Challenge number 5 will be live tomorrow. The Christian Encarnacion Prospectors Challenge ended on August 2nd, but head over there and check those out. I'll also put a link to the Break Grading website if you guys want to get some cards subbed through them. All right, kicking off this episode is Jordan Walker in the number 15 spot, who had 4 homers, 3 doubles, and 9 RBIs over the past 15 days. Now, Jordan Walker is the youngest hitter in AA at 20.2 years old. His rank for my Let's Talk Wax rank is elite. Now, I'm going to be trying to incorporate my Let's Talk Wax rank into a lot of my videos, and I'm going to explain before we get all the way through this one how it works. A prospect can be ranked 1 through 6, 6 being the best would be a 6 out of 6, and 1 being the worst, a 1 out of 6. Jordan Walker is elite, so that puts him 1 tier above 6. He's kind of in his own category. His season average is 301. His career average is 309. He's holding a season ISO of 207, and he's actually hit about 27 doubles this year so far, so I can only imagine what's going to happen when those turn into home runs. He's got elite K numbers, and he's so young for AA. It's just crazy what he's doing in the minor leagues right now. His cards are super expensive, though. They're about $700, and you can find them in 2020 Bowman Draft. In the number 14 spot, we have Aaron Sabato with the Minnesota Twins. He's 23.1, playing in high A, so he's a little bit old for that level. He hit 6 home runs over the past 15 days with 16 RBIs. Now, Sabato is one of my prototypical slugger type players. He's not going to hit for a ton of average. He's going to strike out a ton, but he's going to put up some impressive power numbers. He's actually got a 224 ISO through 2022 this year and a career ISO at 215. So he does have some big power, but I'm afraid once he gets to the upper minors, AA, AAA, he's going to have a lot of issues making enough contact to get to that power. He's a pretty cheap auto out of 2021 Bowman right now, $20, and his Let's Talk Wax rank is a 2 out of 6. All right, bringing home the 13th spot is HERIBERTO HERNANDEZ, who was traded to the Tampa Bay Devil Rays a few years ago. He's 22.6, playing in high A. So like Sabato, he's a bit old for that level. He does have a lot of pop, but he also strikes out a ton. He's a very similar player to Sabato, but he does have a corner outfield ceiling instead of first base. He had 5 home runs this week with 14 RBIs. I put Hernandez at a 2.5 out of 6 just because I really don't like his K numbers. But career-wise, he's had a 254 ISO, which is really impressive, and he's got a 225 ISO on the season. And again, like Sabato, he hasn't played in the upper minors yet. He hasn't played in AA or AAA, so I really don't know how the lack of contact so far this year is going to affect his performance in AA and whether or not he's going to be able to get to any of that natural raw power that he has. Bringing home this 12th spot is ORELVIS Martinez, another youngster in AA. I think him, Walker, Alvarez, and Ezequiel Tovar are the 4 youngest players in AA right now. He's a third baseman, not a shortstop. He's got a ton of juice. He hit 5 home runs over the past 15 days. I ranked ORELVIS a 5.5 out of 6, and I know his K numbers are not excellent, and his batting average, his contact skills are not excellent, but he's got so much raw power for a 20-year-old in AA, and I think that his numbers will continue to improve as he adjusts to the level, which happens with a lot of players. He's got a ton of home runs on the season. He's a number 2 prospect in the Blue Jays organization and number 34 overall in the top 100. You can find his autos in 2019 Bowman Chrome, and they're right around $100 right now. All right, at number 11, we have VIDAL BRUJAN with the Tampa Bay Rays, 24.5, so he just barely qualifies for the under 25 limit. Playing in AAA. Now he's bounced back and forth between the high minors and the MLB over the last 2 years, and he's just having a really hard time trying to figure out MLB pitching. But in AAA, this past 15 days, he's had 2 home runs, a triple, 3 doubles, 5 stolen bases, and 9 walks. The thing I like best about Bruján is his versatility. He can play anywhere, outfield, infield. He's got great speed, and he's got probably some of the best K numbers in all of minor league baseball, which will always give him a shot to perform well at the highest level. On the season, AAA is hitting .320 with a .204 ISO, which is really out of character for him because his career ISO is around 130. So he's bringing some power to the table. And he's got a .955 OPS, which is just really crazy. You can find his Bowman Chrome Autos in 2020 Bowman, and they're really cheap right now at about $15 a piece. Breaking into our top 10, we have Michael Busch with the Los Angeles Dodgers. Another guy who's pretty old. He's 24.7, so he won't qualify for prospect hot sheet much longer. He's been playing in AAA this season, hitting .277 with a .260 ISO and a .905 OPS. Over the past 15 days, he's hit 4 homers, 2 doubles with 6 RBIs. Busch is a big power bat, and he's got K numbers that aren't going to make you vomit, and he hits for a little bit of average. He's a really versatile hitter, more so than guys like Martinez. He doesn't possess the power Martinez has, but he hits for average. He hits for a ton of power, and he's got pretty solid K numbers at 28.6 this so far this season and 26.7 throughout his career. So he's going to hold sub 28 K numbers for the most part. And he's just a really versatile bat. He's got 23 home runs on the year, and I gave him a 5 out of 6 on the Let's Talk Wax rank. He is 3rd in the organization with the Dodgers, and he is a top 100 prospect, landing at 40. And his autos have gotten a little more expensive. They're around $45 right now, but they're out of 2019 draft. At the number 9 spot, we have Alex Ramirez with the New York Mets. 19.5, playing in high A. He was promoted earlier this year, and he's doing really well. He's a center fielder, hit 5 home runs, 2 doubles, and 17 RBIs over the past 15 days. So Ramirez has growing power. He's increased his ISO this season by about 30 points, and he's also done a better job with his K numbers since in 2022 versus his career numbers. He is a 4.5 out of 6 for me on the Let's Talk Wax scale. In the New York Mets organization, he ranks 4th, and in the top 100, he ranks 85th. So he's definitely a guy to keep your eye on. At number 8, we have Brett Baty with the New York Mets, 22.7, playing in Double-A. Third baseman, had 3 home runs, 6 doubles, and 15 RBIs over the past 15 days. Now, Baty has 16 home runs so far this year and 22 doubles. He's absolutely mashing. He's having the best season of his career, and he is getting very close to a call-up, in my opinion. On the season, he's hitting .304 with a 200-plus ISO and a .918 OPS, which is really, really good. His K percentages are a bit high, but they're going to stick around 26 both 2022 and throughout his career, and his strikeout to walk ratio is about the same as well. Baty cards can be found in 2019 draft, and they're getting expensive because he's really lighting it up this year, around $100 a piece. At number 7, we have recently traded James Wood with the Washington Nationals. He's 19.8. He was playing an A-ball with the Padres before he got traded. He's a center fielder. He's got speed, he's got power, he's got a hit tool, and he's got excellent K numbers. I really, really like James Wood, and I expect him to fly up the top 100 charts at the end of the season. He's a very young, exciting player. He had 3 home runs, 4 doubles, and 9 RBIs over the last 15 days. On the Let's Talk Wax rank, he is a 6 out of 6 for me. Like I said, I really like Wood. He's number 4 in the Washington Nationals organization and number 88 in the top 100. His 2022 line is absolutely insane. A .321 batting average, 244 ISO, a 1.004 OPS, the only guy on this hot sheet with a OPS in the 1-point category. His K numbers are insane, 19.2 K percentage and a 1.22 K to walk ratio. Now, the one hang up with James Wood is he's old for A-ball. Technically, he's not old, but in my opinion, as far as the superstar track goes, he's kind of young or kind of old for A-ball. I would love to see him get to Double-A, but the high A, but the big problem is Robert Hassel. is getting reps in high A with the Nationals as well, because they were kind of a package deal with that trade. So unless Hassel gets promoted to Double A, we're not going to see James Wood playing center field in high A. Maybe they'll move him up to a corner spot, but I think they're trying to develop both of them, as center fielders. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully he can catch the promotion, but man, James Wood is a guy to keep your eye on. His cards are around $150 right now. They're soaring up, and he's just a really exciting young player. One of my favorite young hitters in all of minor league baseball. All right, at number 6, we have Brainer Bonacci with the Boston Red Sox, 20.1 years old, playing an A-ball, a bit old for level, kind of like James Wood. He's a second baseman, had 2 home runs, 2 triples, 4 doubles, and 12 RBIs over the past 15 days. He does not rank organizationally or in the top 100, and I gave him a 3 out of 6 on the Let's Talk Wax scale. Now, Bonacci's not hitting for much power. His career ISO is 120. His season ISO is 111, but he holds really, really good K numbers. His season K percentage is 18.3, and his season K to walk ratio is 1.03. Not a lot of young hitters put up elite K numbers like that. And if you look at his career K numbers, which is something I do with all the prospects, my research is I always check career numbers along with season numbers. They're very similar as far as the K numbers go. He's going to hit for more average and power, I think, but the excellent K number is going to give him a chance to maximize any power he has and get the most out of his hit tool. So he could have, a decent ceiling, as a second baseman, as a solid big leaguer with the Boston Red Sox. His cards can be found in 2021 Bowman, and they're super cheap, on only $10. And like I said, I think a lot of that's because he doesn't hit for much power, so the hobby kind of bags on the kid. But he's 20.1, has a little bit of time to grow into some pop, and hopefully he can improve that ISO down the road. Now, before we get into our top 5, I want to run through all the honorable mentions on this video. These are the guys that performed really well over the past 15 days, but just didn't put up the numbers that some of the guys on the top 15 did. We're going to start with the lower minors. We're going to work our way up to the upper minors. I'm not going to try to spend a ton of time going over this, but if you guys want to take a screenshot, you can kind of look over it, on your own. But HERNANDEZ out of 2022 Bowman is gaining a lot of traction. He's 18.8 years old, playing an A-ball right now. He had a home run, 2 doubles, 5 RBIs, and 2 stolen bases. I see a lot of guys chasing him on social media right now because he's starting to kind of heat up. Noelvi Marte recently traded to the Cincinnati Reds, had a home run, 5 doubles, 11 RBIs, and 2 stolen bases. He's 20.8, playing in high A. He had a really rough first half of the year, but he's really turned it up in the second half so far. So he's a guy to keep an eye on. And for all you guys that bought the dip on him in the front half, very good decision. 2022 draft, we have Tyler Soderstrom, another guy who just really struggled in the front half, but he's got, I think, 26 home runs right now, and he's not hitting for a ton of average, but his average is really climbing, as he gets into a little bit of a hot streak here in the back half. He hit 4 home runs this past week with a double and 10 RBIs. Hudson Head is a guy you may want to sell. He had a big past 15 days. He hit 4 home runs, a double, and 10 RBIs. 21.3 playing in high A, and his career numbers are nothing to get super excited about. Thomas Saggese is a guy that I talked about a few months ago on one of my sleeper videos. He's a guy I really like, a sneaker sleeper type prospect with the Texas Rangers. He's 20.3 years old, playing in high A. He's hitting .315 right now with 11 home runs. He's got fringe K numbers, and over the past 15 days, he's had 2 homers, a double, 3 doubles, a triple, and 10 RBIs. So Tommy Saggese is definitely a guy to keep your eye on. He is a sleeper in the Texas Rangers organization right now. Colton Cowser with the Baltimore Orioles out of 2021 draft is having an excellent back half. He's been pretty much lights out since his promotion to Double-A, where he's hitting .338 with 7 home runs. He's got 2 home runs over the past 15 days with 4 doubles and 9 RBIs. Next, we have Austin Wells, another guy who was recently promoted to Double-A, and he's handling it with ease so far. He's got the tools to stick behind the plate, 23.1 with the New York Yankees, 3 homers, 3 doubles, and 6 RBIs over the past 15 days. Next, we have Malcolm Nunez out of 2021 Bowman Chrome, who has yet to sign any of his autos. He was traded to Pittsburgh, and he's with the Altoona Curve right now, hopefully signing his cards. He had 4 home runs, a double, and 8 RBIs over the past 15 days. One of the more hot young prospects right now, Royce Quintana, 19.5 in the Complex League. He had 2 home runs, 2 doubles, and 11 RBIs over the past 15 days. He really needs a promotion. He's a career 300-plus hitter with fringe power. So, he could grow into a little more power, and he's already established the fact that he's got a pretty significant contact tool. So he's a guy to watch for me. Eggy Rosario, the ultimate utility player, is on the prospect hot sheet once again. He's just a great utility man, plays everywhere. 16 home runs and 17 stolen bases so far in 2022. Super cheap autos. Check him out if you haven't yet. Mark Vientos making his first appearance on the hot sheet with the New York Mets. He's 22.6 in AAA. He's got a big power tool. He's got 19 home runs so far in AAA. He had a really good season last year, and he hit 3 home runs, 2 doubles, and 8 RBIs over the past 15. The youngest hitter in AAA, Gunnar Henderson, 3 more homers, 3 doubles, and 7 RBIs. He's one of my favorite hitters behind Jordan Walker in all of minor league baseball. 21.1, playing in AAA, excellent K numbers. He's just really broken out this year after a sluggish 2021. I'm really excited to see him having a lot of success in the upper minors. Gerard Encarnacion just gets into this hot sheet at 24.8. He's 2 months away from the cut. He played in AAA so far this year. He's got 3 homers, 2 doubles, 11 RBIs, and 6 walks over the past 15. He needs a shot with the MLB club at this point and to get some consistent at-bats because he's been just putting up really good numbers in the upper minors for a year or 2 now. So hopefully he'll get a shot in Miami. I know they just promoted Peyton Burdick, so maybe if Burdick struggles, they'll give Encarnacion a shot, but we'll see. We have Drew Waters from the Kansas City Royals. He was originally drafted by the Braves. He's 23.7 out of AAA, and he was a huge prospect about 2 or 3 years ago. He was kind of like Nolan Jones. He was one of the guys that had a hard time having success in the upper minors. When he was young, there's a lot of hype around him, but he kind of struggled in the minors. But he's having a solid year right now with Kansas City. Over the past 15, he's had 4 homers, a triple, 2 doubles, and 7 stolen bases. And finally, rounding up our honorable mentions is Tyler Freeman, who was recently promoted, I think, 2 days ago to the MLB after posting a career-high 6 homers through 72 games in AAA. So that's a lot for him. That's a big power surge for Tyler Freeman, who's more of a contact hitter. But let's jump into our top 5. Now, in this week's top 5, we have 3 guys that don't have a ton of popularity in the hobby, and DARIEL Lopez is one of them out of 2020 Bowman. He's got a first auto only, or a first chrome only. He's got no autos yet, so maybe he'll have a chrome auto in 2022 chrome, which releases in a few months. 20.4 years old, high A, Pittsburgh Pirates third baseman, had 6 homers over the past 15 days with a triple, 2 doubles, and 9 RBIs. His Let's Talk Wax rank right now is a 3.5 out of 6. He's holding a 287 batting average so far this year with a 216 ISO. But the reason I docked him, he hits for average, he's hitting for a ton of power, but the reason I docked him, significantly was the K to walk ratio, which is at 5.47 so far this year. He's a very aggressive hitter with a number like that, and it just makes me a little worried about how he'll perform in Double A, but he's only 20.4. His career K to walk is a 3.13, so he may just be adjusting to upper level arms. But his Bowman Chrome first were like $2 on eBay when I checked yesterday. So a super cheap buy-in, probably for some color. I'm sure there's refractors and blues and things like that going for under $25, especially like refractors are probably only going for $5. But if you can grab some color, DARIEL Lopez, he looks like he could be a guy that's starting to heat up with the Pittsburgh Pirates in high A. All right, at number 4, we have Oscar Colas. And this was a guy, when 2022 Bowman released, I really didn't have much faith in. I don't know why, but he was old. He was like 22 years old, 23 years old when he got signed out of Cuba. And a lot of the players out of Cuba really struggle with K numbers, so I didn't have a lot of confidence in Oscar Colas coming to the MLB and having the immediate success that he's had so far. He started in high A, he dominated high A, he was promoted to double A, he's dominating double A, and he's just having a really good season. Now, mind you, it's a small sample size. This is his first year of professional baseball in the major leagues. But he's a center fielder. He had 5 home runs, 12 RBIs over the past 15 days. On the Let's Talk Wax scale, I gave him a 5.5 out of 6. And the only reason I did that was because of the small sample size. His career numbers are his season numbers because it's, like I said, it's his first season. But he's hitting .329 in AA with a just sub 200 ISO, a 917 OPS. And his K numbers are excellent, 20.6 K percent with the 2.44 K to walk ratio. So Colas is a guy who's picked up a ton of hobby steam, especially after he's had a lot of success in AA. He's got no chrome first. He only has a Bowman Chrome Auto, and it's a redemption, and they're going for around 125 right now. I did see a lot of those redemptions are live right now as well. So Oscar Colas, he's a guy that could get called up at any moment right now, especially if he continues to hit the way he has throughout the season. At number 3, we have Oswaldo Cabrera. Now, Cabrera's had an awful start to 2022, but I think a lot of it had to do with his shoulder injury that happened at the beginning of the year. Well, not the beginning, but I think about 150 plate appearances in, he went on the DL with a shoulder injury. I feel like that may have nagged him, through the front half because his numbers were so poor. But he had such a big 2021. He had double-digit homers, double-digit steals, and had a really good season in 2021. And he's rehabbed in the complex league. He's rehabbed in low A, and he is back to triple A, where over the past 15 days, he's had a huge 2 weeks, 4 homers, 3 doubles, 8 RBIs, and 8 stolen bases. So he's starting to look like the Oswaldo Cabrera of old. Career-wise, he's got pretty good K numbers, a 17.7 K percentage and 2.55 K to walk ratio. This season, he's got a 250-plus ISO, so his power is still there. The average is down, but like I said, I just don't know how much that shoulder injury affected his performance earlier this year. In the organization, he's 11. He's not a top 100 prospect yet, but he's 11 in the New York Yankees. And on the Let's Talk Wax scale, I gave him a 4.5 out of 6. Now, Cabrera autos were selling for like $12 to $15 over the first 3 months of the season. Because like I said, he was performing so terribly. And he was just an absolute steal for me at that price, at the $10 to $15 mark. Now, since he's kind of heated up, his autos have gone up to about $20, but he is a guy to keep an eye on, and all the guys that bought in the $10, $15 level, I think you're going to have some good ROI on that investment if he continues to perform and he can keep that shoulder healthy. All right, now our top 2 in this episode are both prospects that are not on the top 100. At number 2, we have Endy Rodriguez. He does not play for the New York Mets anymore. He's with the Pittsburgh Pirates, 22.2 in high A. He plays a lot of positions. He's a catcher, outfielder, second baseman. He's gotten reps at all of those different positions over the course of the year. He hit 6 home runs over the past 15 with 11 RBIs and 10 walks. Now, Endy's been pretty solid throughout his entire career, and he holds really good K numbers. So those are 2 things I like, great K numbers and consistency. He's hitting .294 this season with a 200-plus ISO. Another thing I like about players are guys who can hit for average and power, and to have great career K numbers on top of that make Endy Rodriguez a very desirable guy for me. I gave him a 4.5 out of 6 simply because he's a bit old for high A. If these were numbers he was putting up in double A, his rank would probably be a 5 or a 5.5, but he got docked just for being a bit old for the level. You can find his first chrome autos in 2021 Bowman for around $25, which is a pretty cheap buy-in for a guy that could get promoted to double A at any time. Bringing home the grand champion title belt in this episode of Prospect Hot Sheet is Junior Severino with the Minnesota Twins. He was recently promoted. Actually, he was promoted yesterday, and I made the hot sheet data the day before. So it's going to say 22.8 high A. He's actually 22.8 in double A as of the posting of this video. He's kind of a utility infielder type. He's played all around the infield. He had 6 home runs over the past 15 with a triple, 3 doubles, and 17 RBIs. Now, Severino is showing some enormous power in 2022. His career ISO is 174 and his season ISO is 291. That just doesn't really add up to me. I feel like we're on a Junior Severino hot streak, but there is some growing power there, and the 6 home runs in the past 2 weeks didn't hurt his season ISO one bit. His other numbers are pretty solid throughout his career. He hits for a little bit of average. He doesn't have awful K numbers, but all these stats came from high A. None of the stats that you see on this card are from AA. He was just promoted yesterday. So he's a guy to watch. I docked him as a 3 out of 6, and it was a hard grade for Severino because his ISO from 2022 to his career is there's such a huge gap there. And to me, like I said, it looks more of like a hot streak kind of padding his ISO right now. And it was also his age, being almost 23 and still playing in high A. So if he can continue to perform even close to what he's doing in AA, if he could hit 250 and hold a 230 ISO, he is going to get some attention in the hobby. But I think a lot of people kind of folded the tent on him with his age and his just kind of, mediocre performance throughout his career. But his autos before this video were $5. If you caught his hot streak early and bought some, congratulations to you. But that is going to wrap up this episode of Prospect Hot Sheet. All right, guys, before I wrap up, I want to remind you to check out my Patreon page. I've got lots of really cool exclusive content over there. I feel like at this point I'm putting more effort into my Patreon page than I am my YouTube videos because I've forced myself to create so much work and updates and lists and all things that go over there. So head over and check it out. It's in the description. There's 3 tiers. You can cheat. One's for super cheap, and there are some higher tiers too. But check it out. I really appreciate the support over there. And don't forget to follow me on social media, where I'll be doing Prospectors Challenge giveaways courtesy of Break Grading. They sent me a ton of cards, and I'm giving them away in all my social media outlets. Now, the Encarnacion Strand giveaway is closed, but I'll be posting a new one tomorrow. So head over to Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter to check that out. I'm really bad at Instagram, I'm okay at Twitter, and I'm the best at Facebook. So follow me on one of those to enter my Prospectors Challenge giveaways. Also want to throw a quick shout out to all of my level 3 patron sponsors. You guys rock. Tom Barta, Max, Brad, Gary D. Childers Jr., Just Dingers Breaks, and 909 Sports Cards on Instagram. I really appreciate all the guys who subscribe to my Patreon. Everyone who supports the channel, I really appreciate it. I recently hit 6,000 subscribers, and that's all thanks to you guys. If you enjoy this content, please subscribe. Thanks, and have a great day.